Hello and welcome to Coach Marketing Mastery, the final say on everything marketing with India Kernan Sean Snowday. How you doing, India?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. So one of the things that I've found here is with social media marketing,
Mhm.
there's been a lot of changes in it. I
Right.
think you're more on the bleeding edge of what's going on more than I am.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the blueprint today um, of brand building. And it's interesting. It's brand building and community,
Right.
and it's like a lot of people have looked at social media. The reason it's called social media is people were able to socialize. And what happened is when the internet came out, it was all text, and then it started becoming visual, and then they had this thing called the internet version one type, and it was all interruptive. So if you did something, people would interrupt you, but you couldn't really reply. And then with internet version two, you could actually reply, chat rooms and stuff like that, right? And
Interesting.
then we have social media, which means we can interact,
Mhm.
right? And we can interact at a global level. And then now it just seems to be more branding. So we're going to go into that and just understanding not just the platforms, but the culture of social media, because maybe the social part isn't really social anymore, or maybe it's changed to now it's the culture of it and whether you're a fit or not. So what is your take on that? And how does it all work? I don't know.
Right. So understanding platform and culture is what we'll start with. And that is really understanding the nuances of each platform. So, for instance, if you're a photographer, you really want to be on Instagram because it's very visual. And your LinkedIn profile can also be more business driven. So just know the platforms, know what does better on each platform. There's carousel on Instagram. Well, how do they show up on LinkedIn? Do you upload a PDF or do you do a PNG? You have to know all these little things, and really you learn that by getting in the system. I know it is time consuming, but if you learn these nuances, then you can play with it for your own content. And that's what I do. I approach Instagram differently than I approach LinkedIn. I don't always post the videos I do on Instagram to LinkedIn because, as we always say, you don't want to put a hippie on a military base.
Right.
So it's really understanding the platforms, the strengths of those platforms, the trends. On Instagram, you can use audio that someone else has created, and then say it's doing really well and it's going viral. Then you can pick it up and do it and make it applicable for your business. So that's always fun. Whereas you don't do that on LinkedIn. And Instagram doesn't allow you to download those audio bites. These types of things are just little nuances that are good to know so you know what to do on each platform. YouTube is more of a longer version video. However, you can also take that longer version and create a short, very similar to a reel on Instagram. So it's really understanding what the community expects in each of your platforms. TikTok is completely different. It's more, it's younger. Most 30 and under are on TikTok. Not all Gen Xers and baby boomers are on TikTok. So you have to think that way, right?
Right. So then now, that being said, why don't we just stick on one platform? I mean, some of the things that we have in our footnotes is the culture. So like, just talk straight about the culture, because like for me, it's going to be LinkedIn. I'm looking for high end people, and a lot of them are replying. Um, but then it's also the culture. So a lot of the people that I'm connecting with, they're going to read my bio. But
Mm-hmm.
if my bio, even though they're the best fit for me, if my bio says that I'm a basket weaver, then is that going to fit with the culture of what I'm trying to do?
Right, Right. So of course on LinkedIn, you wouldn't want to have the basket weaver on LinkedIn.
What? Why not?
Unless that's your business, you
Oh,
could be a basket weaver, but just be consistent. Also know your audience. LinkedIn is more like a digital resume. So treat it as such. You can still do videos. In fact, I do like to change it up a bit and do something on LinkedIn that most people don't see, like coming out of the water, but I talk about something related to my business. So you can change it up. You don't have to be in a suit and tie or a business suit for a woman. You can actually make it fun, but I don't think I would dance like a TikTok on LinkedIn. So you do have to know the culture. I don't think that would go over well.
right.
So,
But my question is, if I go back to these footnotes,
mhm,
um, it's saying the platform strengths.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
so here's the deal with LinkedIn. Back in the day, there's a thing called a Lion, a LinkedIn Open Networker. This is when I got kicked off of LinkedIn because I got kicked off of LinkedIn not for doing anything wrong. I grew too fast,
Mm.
and they didn't like that. And when you're a Lion, a LinkedIn Open Networker, that means you'll accept anyone's. That when I reach out, I'm going to accept you because you reached out to me as a connection, and I reached out to you. So what we were doing back then is we're looking for all of the LinkedIn Open Networkers and interacting with them. But for some reason, LinkedIn didn't like it because it was able to tell that I sent out like 500 of them in one night.
Did you do that
So
manually or was that a program?
I did it manually.
Yeah, so that was organic, but they probably thought you had some kind of software that was
Well,
doing
this is in 2009 or 2008.
it. Yeah.
And so the thing is, that so what are so then there was that,
Mhm.
and then there's also the groups. So the groups were really super cool at one time, and now there's not too much activity. And if there is a group, I've seen and I've had my friends go in there and like spam the groups and say, "Hey, I'm having a live event." So what are the do's and don'ts, and what are the strengths of LinkedIn? Do you know about what it differentiates the groups from Facebook to LinkedIn to what they now have is circle.so? We have something to that effect, that is not in social media. So what would be the pros and cons of that?
Um, so what's the question? The pros and cons of
Of groups, LinkedIn groups to
I
Facebook groups.
actually have found that groups work really well. So what I do is I post on my personal profile and my business, and I'll go into LinkedIn groups and post the same thing. And depending on what it is, I think they do actually well, and it's more engage. It gives you more of a platform. So I do believe that LinkedIn groups work. I mean, I use them. That way, you're not just posting one time; you're posting 3 times. You have more eyes on your content. So I think I have one. I forgot. It's something like brains. It's about psychology. A lot of therapists are in there, coaches. So when I do something coach related, like divorce coaching, I usually send it that way. But I'll also do my marketing coaching in there as well because these coaches want to grow, and so it seems to be going well. So I would challenge you on the group thing. I really do think groups work in LinkedIn.
Okay. So but my saying is that if you start a group now, like if you go in a group now, it's probably a seasoned group. But
Yeah.
if you start a group now, how do you get people? It's from my understanding, it's harder to get people to join the groups now as compared to when they started.
Oh, yeah.
Easier to get people in a Facebook group, but then all the business people, like everyone that I know that is like a multimillionaire and um, is not like a coach or something silly like that. none of them are on Facebook. They're like, that thing's a joke. It's a waste of their time because they're at a whole new level. Like they're golfing with people. They're spending $2,500 on one guy to take them out to lunch and take them golfing, right? To get the deal rather than getting a bunch of people into a Facebook group.
Yeah.
So these guys at that level, they're not going to be on Facebook, right? Yeah. But then to get them in LinkedIn, they're just not into it. So that's what I'm talking about, the culture of it all. Mm-hmm. These are the business people, but then some of the top dogs that you really want to deal with, they're hard to get to, but they're in LinkedIn once in a while. So with the culture of it all, and then you also have someone running the admin of their account. So when you think you're talking to Elon, you're really just talking to an admin. Absolutely. So how do you interact and how do you deal with that?
Well, I don't really interact with those types of people.
All right. Well, not yet.
Not yet, but yeah, for LinkedIn, just the importance I think of LinkedIn is just remember that it's more business driven, and always if someone comments on your post to like it and comment too, because it goes back up to the feed. So that's a nuance that you need to know about LinkedIn, is you want to comment, you want to get as many comments as you can, and you want to interact. So anyway, I think LinkedIn's a great platform because of all the platforms: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's on the lesser, it has less people than the more social. I mean, I know all of them are social, but it seems like LinkedIn is more business. So I actually really like to target LinkedIn because of that. It's a little bit less, and you're not competing with as many people. Facebook is like 5 billion or something. It's crazy. So you're competing with everyone, not just another marketing coach. You're competing with a baker. You're competing with a shoe designer. You're competing with a fashion person. I mean, everyone. So LinkedIn I like because it's a little bit smaller. So why don't we go on? Oh, go on.
So post-creative strategy.
Yeah, let's move to the next topic, which is the post-creative strategy. Strategic organic content is the next one. And that just means that you don't have to post 5 times a day, because you don't want to just throw spaghetti at the wall. You want to be strategic about your post. Like, what is the pain of your ideal client, your avatar? And then think from the end and create the content backward. And
okay, so what if you're just starting out?
So if you're just starting out, if you have a niche, I hope you do. You might not, but it'd be good to have a niche. You start working in that niche. So you can even go to ChatGPT and start developing your ideal client, your persona, then speak to that, then brainstorm with chat and go, what would be a great post for LinkedIn, for YouTube, for Instagram? How should I do it? What should the video look like? I don't want to be on camera. Do you have any ideas of B-roll, etc.? Or storytell. Maybe you tell others what you're doing. You introduce yourself. I used to be a Olympic swimmer, and now I'm an athletic performance coach. And so you can start small, but you don't have to post every day. I think that's a misconception, but you do have to be strategic. You can post, once, twice a week, but be very strategic about what you're posting. You want to hit that pain point for your ideal client, and you want to be relevant. You want to have a call to action. You want to have any kind of engagement. If they're commenting, comment back, ask questions, use your comments to, like for LinkedIn, to put a link to your masterclass. I did that yesterday. Someone said, looks like a great class. I said, attend next Friday. Here's the link. And so it goes back up to the top of the feed in LinkedIn, and then it even has the link in the comments. So use your comments. And you can even make posts from your comments. Say you get an ugly comment or a hateful comment, you can actually use that as material for another post. So be creative. I know that can be daunting for some people. So use AI to help you figure out content, you also, and this is later on in our outline, but you also can go to like Quora, or is it Rooter? What is that one? What is it called?
There's a bunch of different,
Yeah.
some of the people.
But you can go find content. What are people talking about? And go look at it and then create a post from that. You also want to have your authentic voice. You don't want to try to be someone you're not. And you'll develop that over time. And you'll also develop your own style. But you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. Go to other competitors. Look at people in your space. What are they creating? And how are they doing it? Are they getting a lot of views, traction? And go use it. Don't completely copy them, but you can use them as a way to brainstorm new ideas. You can actually use audio where you're not even talking in Instagram, for instance. So there's so many ways, but you do need to research what other people in your space are doing, and that helps you actually come up with content.
Mm-hmm.
So again, strategic organic content is also knowing who you're talking to and being consistent with that. You know, I have two different types of businesses. I try to stay consistent in my divorce coaching and in one Instagram profile I have, and then the other make it about marketing. But sometimes there's a little crossover, but that's okay, because you know I also have coaches that follow me, divorce coaches that follow me, that want to grow their business. So there's a little crossover.
Yeah, so there's going to be that, and it's all contingent on what you do. But
Mhm.
then the other thing is, with the when it says authentic voice,
Mhm.
what exactly does that mean? Because I have, I have people that, some people say, well, I would never say that, and I'm like, well, maybe you should say that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what does authentic voice mean when it comes to, because we see a lot of coaches out there, and I'm just like, I know someone told you to make a video, but I don't think they said to put that out in social media. Like, that's not really helping you.
Mhm.
Even though you're using, people will say, my truth, this is my authentic voice. And then they just do a stream of consciousness that is just doesn't make sense, but they're making the video. And I get it. Go out there and fail big.
Exactly. I was gonna say, you know what, you're gonna fail, and it's okay. It's okay to have flops. It's okay to have videos that only.
Yeah, but what if you know what videos I'm talking about?
I do know. I do
But
know.
what are you talking
I
about?
think the importance of that is,
I want names.
the importance of that is get to the point, get to the chase. Don't ramble, because you have 3 seconds to get a viewer to stop. And if you don't get it in the first, actually, you probably have less than that on social media. You need to get their attention immediately, whether it's like hitting on the glass or doing something like, making some movement. But if you're rambling and just going on and on, they're going to pass you up so fast. So get to the point, and and make it about your ideal client more so than you.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the next thing? The next thing is
So
going to
the
be
next thing is post creative strategy. So what does this mean? This is after the fact that you've posted something, you go research your work. What worked? What didn't work? This video did really well. Maybe if you're on YouTube and you talk about this, shown is like at the 3-minute marker, it did really well. That's where the high engagement was, and you can see it on your analytics. So you take that little clip, that little, I don't know, like 15 seconds, and you make it a short. And then you link it automatically links up to the long form video. So it can get someone's attention on YouTube with that bite or whatever 30-second clip that did well. So you can go study what worked, what didn't work, recreate it, and you can even repost it. Sometimes if it did really well, you just repost it. You don't even change it. But you'll start understanding what works and what doesn't work.
okay.
Okay. So I do that all the time. And here's the deal. People are so worried about reposting what they already did because they're like, well, people have already seen this. Half the people have not, more than half have not seen it. You know, most people have not seen your content, so don't worry about reposting. Maybe wait. Sorry, there's a big airplane.
I know. I'm not going to say it now, but go ahead.
I tried to get crisp and it didn't work.
No,
So,
I'm not. I wasn't even going to say that.
so anyway, people, you know, most of the stuff you're posting, people don't see. So don't worry about reposting. Repost, especially the content that did well, but study what does well, how many views, how many comments, how many engagement, and then repurpose it. You don't always have to be coming up with content all the time. You can even take blogs that you've written 10 years ago, update them, and then make it into a carousel or a video, or gives you inspiration of what to talk about. So there's so much you can do with stuff you've already created.
Right. So then, you know, we talk about this a lot, all um, the post creative strategy, but also when they talk about evergreen, how come people don't really do evergreen anymore, or what does evergreen mean? Because in our software, they can post the same thing over and over and over. There's one image that I really like, and it says mastery in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if that turns into white noise or not.
I think it can. So I think you have to be strategic on how often you post it. Evergreen, like we have, like that post, for instance, is an evergreen, meaning it's always there. It comes up like every 3 weeks or whatever. But I do think you have to be careful, because you know the ads that you see on Facebook or whatever, they come up, you're just like, you don't even look at them anymore because you've seen them so many times that it is white noise. So you do have to be careful about how often you're posting that. Um, so, I mean, that's what I would say about evergreen. Just be careful. Just plan it out so it's not hitting it every week, because people will get sick of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then what's the next thing?
So the power of comments and engagement. So like I said before, always comment, always engage with your audience if they are commenting to you. Ask questions, put links in comments, change the comments into a post, especially if it's a good one or if it's a bad one. You can do a whole post or video on someone hating on you. I mean, it's great content. You know, you always say something about haters, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
You're really nobody until you get your first hater.
Right, right. And so use it to your own benefit. Use the comments to create posts, and engage more with your people, with your community. So so anyway, use it for brainstorming and all that. What else? Build relationships. So again, ask questions and give them something. Hey, you want my free guide to how to get it right this time after a divorce? You know, so use this. This is all can be lead generating. All the social media can generate leads for you.
Yeah. And then the last thing is going to be the researching your competitors.
Oh, I have a good one. So this one is not my own, but it's called Sawdust versus Sawing the Logs, right? So the Sawdust content strategy, do you know what that is, or can you guess what that is?
It's all the information after it's been put out.
Well, it's before. So say you have a video shoot. Say you decided to get a videographer and they came to your house and you're doing this whole video, and it's some promotion for a course that you're about to launch. While they're doing that, have another camera that's videotaping you behind the scenes. So use everything. Don't let anything go to waste. So that's the Sawdust. And then you creating the video or the course is sawing the logs. So use the Sawdust, because don't waste it, because you can do the behind the scenes footage and use it for more content.
Yeah, I
Basically,
used to do outtakes.
Yeah.
I used to do silly outtakes, but I cuss too much, so I couldn't do those anymore. But yeah, and so then those are, it's called the clipping floor tapes or
Right.
whatever it's called.
Right. And one more thing, getting back to the inspiration, I couldn't think of the name. It's Reddit. So go explore Reddit and other forums and see what people are talking about. And Reddit is just is so rich with content because they say anything. And you'll like if you just search your niche, you'll get some quality stuff. You'll get some bad stuff too, but you can actually use that to be like, do you agree with this? Or make it something that you can engage and ask questions of your community.
Yeah, when it comes to me for researching my competitors, which I do all the time, I really look at what they're doing and what's working for them, and then I kind of want to implement that also. People always say do the opposite. This is what I hate about marketing people. This is what I hate about everybody. Is they go, webinars don't work anymore. Email doesn't work anymore. Well, what are you selling? You're selling something that is not a webinar. But if you're selling a webinar, right? We have a saying where it's like, sell the hole, not the shovel, right?
Or
Sell the sizzle, not the steak. And the deal is that if you had a job at Ford and I said, okay, sell this car. Oh, well, it has a steering wheel, it has a foot pedal, it has a gas pedal, it has 6 gears, right? Whatever. Okay, now you work at Chevy and you're going to be saying the same thing, right? So it's really going to be like, do heads turn when you get out of your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want heads to turn? Like I told you, my friend, he bought a Ferrari. He got rid of it because everyone looked at him. I think you had that same issue, right? You're like, I don't want everyone looking at me when I got out of my car. I just want to go shopping and buy a loaf of bread, right? I don't want it to be a big production everywhere I go. But some people like that.
Yeah.
And that's the sizzle that you're going to sell to people. And I guess the next thing is going to be like the finding inspiration.
Well, yeah. So that's what I was saying. Go to like Reddit and some.
So you were already on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So I think we covered everything. Do you have any other questions?
No. This has actually been very educational for me. Okay. I've got a lot of things that I need to do social media wise. We have a video a day. So we have the masterclass. Tell them a little bit about how to access that and how we have a video a day Facebook group that we really offer to people. I think the people at the masterclass are only our paid. I think it should be only the paid clients because we have to spend our time looking at the video.
Right. Well, so let me tell you about the masterclass because we're going to be diving in even deeper in the social media world this Friday. So this Friday, I don't even know the date on that. Will you check for me? This Friday at 10 o'clock, that's Pacific time.
The 28th of June.
The 28th of June, we will be offering our Coach Marketing Masterclass. It's free. And you can find the link or you can sign up and register at coachmarketingmasterclass.com. So if you want to know more, just go to LinkedIn or my Instagram or Coach Marketing Mastery or Masterclass on any of the platforms and you'll see the link. So go check it out. It is worth going. I know we just did a LinkedIn testimony about the last Fridays where we had our guests tell us what they thought about it. So if you're interested, go to LinkedIn, go to India Kern, and you'll see the testimony and you'll see what people had to say about it. So we hope to see you there at coachmarketingmasterclass.com.
Yay. Anything more, India Kern?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. This is really informative. So my name is Sean Snowday. I'm the co-founder of Coach Marketing Mastery with India Kern. And really, when you go to coachmarketingmasterclass.com, India is going to fill you more in on the social media. She's really the whiz at all this stuff. But we're going to probably have some strategies that you can apply immediately when you show up to this. We're just doing a flow of consciousness for the podcast. But at Coach Marketing Masterclass, you get more detailed information so you can start becoming a bigger fish in a larger ocean overnight with the help of Sean and India Kern. Thank you, India.
Thank you.